And we're live here on YouTube. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Mike. A little tired because I've been going in at 5 in the morning every day this week. But it's just being a good team player and getting some extra money out of it.
Yeah, extra money's always good.
It is. It is. So, Mike, how are things up in your neck of the woods?
They've been busy. It's been a pretty hectic week. We had one of my coworkers had to be off for 3 days this week, so had to do some stuff, and but beyond that, it's just been. I mean, we're getting amped. We're gonna have an in-person event on Tuesday with the esports, which is gonna we'll talk about a little bit more about that. But man, a lot of work next week that I got to get ready and get everything set up for. So yeah, but a lot of other things have calmed down, so that's very nice.
Good. All right, Mike. So it's in the 10 o'clock hour on a Friday night. So Mike, we're going to be talking about the NASCAR Corner and the MLB playoffs tonight. Mike, what else are we going to be touching on?
Rich, we have we got football and Masked Singer still to talk about.
Yes.
All that and more, but let's go ahead and roll the intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. Rich, sorry, we're going to go on a tangent real quick. It's going to be a fun night. Mm-hmm. Every time I play the intro, I get to look at our splash screen, as I call it. And our intro screen has a bunch of old pictures of you and I, and sometimes I look at some of the old pictures of you and I'm like, you look so much like your little brother. But I'm sure that your little brother no longer looks like that.
No, he doesn't.
Like, I'm talking like tiny little, I don't know, 2010 Rich, 2008 Rich. You were like shaved because I think you just got back from deployment or something in one of the pictures,
yeah,
and so
I always kept my hair short.
Way shorter hair, no facial hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's we need to get some new pictures on there.
We might. I mean, I like looking back through the ages. It's always nice. I think we have a few more though. I can change it up. I'll figure it out. But before we do anything else, we do need to talk about our poll question. This week's poll question was Cinnamon Toast Crunch versus Cheerios. I forgot to share it out. I hadn't voted on it until, the last minute. So, did it not share out either? It might not have shared out. Okay, I'm going to go share it one more time. Oh, no, apparently I did share it. And we did get one more vote. Who was that one vote?
Okay. So Mike, I'm pretty sure with this episode, with this poll, since this is the Hart Healthy Plain Cheerios against Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I will be very surprised if we got a Cheerios vote. So Mike, I went with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I did too. So did Josh Hendricks. At this point, and we'll give you the poll result. If it changes in the next however long the show is, we will announce it, and we will take we will take what the poll answer is at the end of the show. But as of right now, we have one vote. Our one vote since I shared it 10 minutes ago was for Cheerios.
Ooh. That vote belongs to
Derek Breedson.
All All right, so this week's poll, which I'll get up tomorrow morning, we're gonna make you choose. This is probably the toughest one I think we've had. It's bacon versus eggs.
So not bacon
Typically,
and eggs?
no, bacon versus eggs.
What kind of eggs?
Eggs your way.
Okay, so I want to clarify this one.
Okay.
When we say eggs your way, we don't mean you can make an omelet out of it. You don't mean that you can put mix-ins in it. You can get herbs and salt and pepper. I'll allow milk / water, whatever you mix in to make scrambled eggs. Basically, scrambled eggs or fried eggs, however you want it. Poached eggs, you can do a poached egg if all you're doing is a poached egg. Hard-boiled egg is fine, right? That's, when we say eggs your way, we don't mean like, well, eggs my way is throw bacon on it, so I get bacon and eggs. Whoa! No. You either
bacon versus eggs.
It's bacon versus eggs, and these eggs are just eggs. It's fried, it's poached, it's scrambled. By the way, maybe next time we'll do if we ever do this poll type thing again, which we won't because we've done it. We're what, a year in on this. Mm-hmm. If we ever do this again, though, when we talk about eggs, we'll have a showdown, and it'll be fried. It'll be sunny side up, basted, sunny side down, hard boiled, soft boiled, medium boiled. We'll do all the options. We didn't want to do it. We didn't want it to take a year, but it took a year. We did actually kind of want it to take a year, but right now all we're talking about is eggs. We're not adding in all that other stuff. You don't get to put bacon in it. You don't get to put veggies in it. It's how do you when you go and you order a 2-egg meal, how do you like your eggs? Maybe that's how you phrase it. 2 eggs, how do you like them?
Okay, I can try that. Or at least I'll put that in the as a comment.
Well, but if you put eggs your way, people are gonna be like, well, I'm gonna put bacon in it. I'm gonna put jelly in it. I'm gonna put.
No, it's just going to be eggs. But I can put in a comment section being scrambled.
Yeah.
Because there's only a limited amount of space. You don't want to make the wording on the poll side a little longer. So as a comment, I will put, for example, scrambled.
No, I would put. You get 2 eggs. How do you like them?
Okay, 2 eggs. How do you like them? Okay.
That's how I would put it. Okay. With that, Rich, where do people find that poll question?
You can find that poll question on Facebook at Fans of Balls and Sticks or Balls and Sticks.
Okay.
And you can also Mike and I try to share it as well. So
Yep.
Mike, do you see what's coming up next?
Well, I know that last week I saw them turning right, but I think this week all I see is a left turn.
That is correct. Mike, what's after that?
Is it? I think, like I said, ahead, it's only a left turn. When I look in the rearview mirror, though, there's right turns involved.
Okay. Tell them why, Mike.
Because we're heading into the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by III Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is III Sports Cards Incorporated. Rich, last week we were at the Bank of America Charlotte Roval, where Kyle Larson won in dramatic and decisive fashion. Mm-hmm. Tyler Reddick came in 11th, which was your pick. My pick of Chase Elliott came in 5th. And Rich, it looks like we were both wise to pick AJ Allmendinger and Shane Van Gisbergen as they came in at 6th and 7th respectively. So you get the non-playoff driver. I got the playoff driver. Neither one of us gets the winner. Rich, that pulls you up to 22, me up to 21, and overall, in the playoffs, you are 8-5. Where are we going this week, and what's your advice?
Well, Mike, did you get a chance to watch the race at all?
Yes. I
Okay,
think I watched this one. No,
I only
did
got
I?
to watch the
Yes.
last 5 laps. Last 5 laps. We
We
were out and about doing stuff.
we watched the middle part of it. Our kids had some breakdowns and were going cray cray. It was they yeah, Joseph. I feel bad for
Kids being
Joseph.
kids.
What? Oh, yeah.
Kids being kids.
Yeah. 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 Constipated and then had a blowout. It was bad.
Mm. Gotcha.
So,
I don't remember what we were doing Sunday. Oh yeah, I know. Now I remember what we do. We went and we went to the movies after
ooh,
church.
what'd you
so,
see?
We saw Saturday Night. The backstory on the
Oh,
first
this.
episode of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Is it any good?
It was okay.
Okay. Okay. But I got to watch a good chunk of it. We got to enjoy it. It was a Sunday without football, essentially. I mean, we watched the game. We watched up until we left for church, hit pause, came back, started watching again from that point, and then finished the game. Regularly forgot to hit fast forward through commercials. That was great. But finished the race and then finished that and put on the race.
All right. So this week, Mike, they're going to be in Las Vegas for the South Point Casino 400.
Yeah. So it's
Mike,
it's Las Vegas. It's one of these standard tracks that the guys that are the best drivers in NASCAR tend to be really good at this. A lot, especially your veteran drivers who, if you look at the history of the sport, and Denny Hamlin, I don't know if you, I've been watching Denny Hamlin's podcast a little bit, and Denny Hamlin talked about that as a kid who dreamed about driving in NASCAR his whole life,
Mm-hmm.
you know what he got really, 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 really good at? Oval driving on asphalt or concrete. You know why? Because for 90% of NASCAR history, that's what you raced on. So your veteran drivers, watch out for them to come out and prove to you that they are better than everybody these next couple weeks.
All right. Good advice. So, Mike, you have the honors for a playoff driver. Who is your choice?
I'm going to pick Kyle Larson.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick. It seems like this could be the track that gets him into the championship four, if not getting a big point stay in Vegas. So I like the pick. I'm gonna go with his teammate William Byron. William Byron hasn't finished outside of the top 10 at this track, and he's my pick to win the entire thing. So I think this is a good point for him to rack up some points, some playoff points. On the non-playoff driver side, I'm going to go with the veteran driver like you suggested, Mike, and I'm going to go Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, that guy is one of the best in the league, or in the entire thing, and especially at this discipline. Hasn't won this year, and so it'll be like we really should. There's a good possibility that he will pull off some stuff. So, yeah.
And your pick, Mike.
I am gonna pick Alex Bowman.
All right. Speaking of Alex Bowman, Mike, he was originally into the next round of playoffs, but his car failed inspection in Charlotte for being underweight and was disqualified. And because of that DQ, finishing dead last in the Charlotte race, that bumped him out of the playoffs. So along with Alex Bowman, you had Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric, and Chase Pisco being eliminated from the playoff contention. Moving on. Your top four, pending the results of the next three races that go into the championship, will be Larson, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron. Below the cut line, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano.
Okay. Oh man. I think it's been, but it was the nice thing was it was a relatively quiet week in NASCAR. Not a lot of things to get up in arms about necessarily so again, in the top series. Now, did you hear about the controversy in the Xfinity?
I did not.
So, a driver lost control, buried himself in the tires, was not getting out of it during the last lap. The second to last lap, right before, like milliseconds before they wave the white flag, the yellow comes out.
So that necessitated an overtime?
It necessitated an overtime.
So I take it the guy that was just about to take the white flag was upset because he didn't win the race?
Yeah.
He didn't make it through overtime as the winner?
I think, Kligerman was Parker Kligerman was leading. Literally, when you see the footage, you like the flag man has a white flag in his hand, and is waving it. However, the yellow had been pushed before the before it had happened, before the flag comes out. Yeah. By the way, the car was buried for like 10 to 15 seconds before anybody said anything.
So him buried in the tires was not impeding other drivers on the track.
Yeah,
where they could have, you had the white lap, you could have had the white flag, and he just could have been stuck and not moving at all, and they could have ran the last lap.
I don't know if that's the case. So again, from my understanding, that's not true.
No.
He was in a spot that could have caused problems, but yeah, I can't find the pictures of it, but I saw him earlier this week, and the car was buried. It was not coming out. It had been there for quite a while, though. That's the problem. It took 10 to 15 seconds for that to go through. Like 10 to 15 seconds. How you don't get it out there beforehand, I don't know. But it really screwed things up. So, tough for Parker, but, it happens.
All right. Anything else you want to bring up on the NASCAR side?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, that was the NASCAR Corner presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, and you can also find them on eBay. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. So, Mike, we're going to go over to the gridiron to review the results of week number 6.
Okay.
Mike, the Bears were in London for an early morning, Sunday morning game.
Did you watch any of it?
I watched maybe the first hour of the game, 45 minutes of the game.
So I watched the entire first half. Literally, they were going to halftime as we were leaving. So, good game. The Bears played great. Caleb Williams throwing 5 touchdown passes in a single game. Bears score 35 points. Look like one of the best teams in the league.
Yep. So you mentioned they scored 35 points, and they held the Jaguars to 16 points. So Mike, we are both 5-1 in picking the Bears games, and the Bears themselves are 4-2.
Yeah.
Mike, how did the locks of the week go?
The locks of the week, Rich, you picked the Packers over the Cardinals. They actually pulled it off. You finally got your first lock of the week.
Yay!
I picked the Eagles over the Browns, and I have my 6th lock of the week as the Eagles pulled it off. 20-16. Packers beat the Cardinals 34-16. Rich, 16 is a common number this week for these recaps. Rich, tell them how our upset specials went,
Right.
and give them that tidbit that we didn't talk about last week.
No,
But
I didn't catch it until the results of this
Yeah.
game. But Mikey, you went opposite of my lock, saying that the Cardinals would upset the Packers. That didn't happen, as the Cardinals lost 34-16, dropping you to 1-5 on upset specials. And when looking through the results, Mike, when you've picked against the Packers, you have not come out on top. So you're 0-3 when you're using the Packers when putting the Packers on upset alert. My pick of the Commanders over the Ravens also did not come through, as the Ravens won 30-23, dropping me 2-4.
Okay.
Thursday night football, Mike. We both picked the Broncos. The Broncos won 33-10. Mike, you're 6-2 on Thursday nights. I am 4-4.
Yeah, those injuries for the Saints, man, that killed them.
It really did. You have your quarterback, you have your top 2 wide receivers gone, and
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't like the Broncos really lit it up. They were running the ball really well. They got a defensive touchdown in the game. I didn't watch it. I'm just going off of what I saw. 33-10. I saw 33-10 at one point. It was like, whoa, who went off? Who went off in that game? And it was the running back, because he got 2 rushing touchdowns.
Well, because we both know that nobody that the Dolphins don't have a quarterback. Or I'm sorry, we're talking about.
You'll get to the Dolphins. We'll get to the Dolphins. You can talk about the Dolphins when we get to our power rankings.
Yeah.
Neither of them picked them in any of our.
Yeah, I don't even know why I was thinking the Broncos. The Broncos
have a quarterback. It's just a rookie quarterback that's still being developed. And the Saints have a backup quarterback that's a project quarterback.
Yeah. So, again, their backup is a backup. I mean,
there's a reason the guy was a 5th-round pick.
Yep.
He's a developmental project, and he got thrown to the wolves because Derek Carr went down.
And by the way, if you're going to be in the comment section and be typing, well, Tom Brady was a 6th-round. Tom Brady is an anomaly. You wanna argue that Tom Brady is if Tom Brady's the greatest of all time, you can't compare him to anybody else. Doesn't matter where he was picked.
Okay, Mike, I'll give you an example then. Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy.
Yep. But again, I would argue, A, what's this season looking like for him?
500 right now.
Right. And as the lead quarterback, does he look like the Brock Purdy we've seen the last few years?
I would say no.
Does he look like he's going to be the greatest of all time ever?
No.
Okay,
I'm not trying to compare, but I mean to say, well, he was a 5th-round quarterback. he's a fifth-round quarterback for a reason, and he looked like it in his only his second start. But then you have not wanting to put Tom Brady as an example. He was a sixth-round pick. Look what he turned into. But at the same time, I mean, I think Tom Brady didn't start his rookie year.
Nope.
If I remember correctly,
Nope.
he was on the bench for a year. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think it was a couple of years, but I don't remember all the way.
or at the very least, if he did start his rookie year, there was a lot more games into the season before he had to go in for the injured Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
So we'll get to where we have some teams in the power rankings once we give our picks for week number 7. So Mike, the Bears are on bye week as they were in London last week, so we don't have a Bears game to pick. Lock of the week, Mike. But I guess before we do it, I guess we'll get into where the Bears are at. We'll talk about the Bears during the.
Tom Brady
power
played one
rankings.
game in his rookie year, by the way.
One game, okay.
Had a 42%, or had a 42%, or 42.4 passer rating. Yeah. Only threw 3 passes. So.
All right, lock of the week. As I'm gonna have to hopefully take the sure thing this week, Mike, to get another win on the board. So I'm gonna take those Commanders, and I think they're gonna beat the Carolina Panthers.
Man, that 100% was gonna be my pick this week. That totally did was. I'm picking a game that I think probably, as I look at it, the more I look at it, the more I think this is as much of a lock. But man, I wasn't thrilled about not being able to pick the Commanders over the Panthers because that's the one I wanted. I'm going to pick the Bills over the Titans.
I like it. The Titans are still trying to figure out who they are. Do they have their quarterback of the future in Will Levis, or are they going to be searching for a new one at the end of the year since the current coaching regime didn't pick him? So I like the pick. Upset special, Mike. I'm going to go there. I really wasn't too confident with too many of the underdogs this week. So I'm going to take the Jets over the Steelers.
Okay.
The Jets just acquired Devontae Adams this week. They're going to have a full practice week with the new head coach. And the Steelers are supposedly turning the reins over to Russell Wilson, even though Justin Fields is 4-1. I don't get that one, Mike. The Steelers got a bad offensive line. At least when your offensive line breaks down, Justin Fields can keep things going with his legs. Russell Wilson can't do that.
Yeah, I think that's a bad pick. I think you're right in the pick. I think what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah, I don't get it. It isn't like they're not paying. It isn't like they're rolling him out there regardless because he's making a ton of money, because the Broncos are paying the majority, 90% of that contract. He's just making the league minimum. So it isn't like they're like the Browns who keep naming Deshaun Watson the starter because they're paying the man too much.
Yeah. So Rich, with this week, I picked a game for my upset special. This is one that I actually don't agree that it is an upset. However, what I said to you is the Bears went in and beat the home team for London.
Well, technically the Bears were the home team.
Right, but who in the last 5 years has played the most games in London of any team in the NFL?
Jacksonville.
Okay.
And typically do 1 to 2 games a year.
What team wants to move to London if they could?
Jacksonville. I don't think that's true because they're investing in a new stadium renovations in Jacksonville, but the fact that those stadium renovations haven't stopped them from saying we're still going to play an annual game in Jackson
At least an annual game, and they're getting two, which should be a huge advantage in this game. But I don't think that team is good enough to really do anything with. So I'm going to pick New England Patriots.
All right, I like it. It's not a bad pick. It's really not a bad pick. The Patriots have been playing a little bit better with Drake May under center, and the Jags. Man, I don't know how this team went from a fringe playoff team to one that's back not being able to win football games. So.
Yeah, I feel bad for them.
More to come with those power rankings, which we're going to get to next. But before we do Thursday Night Football, week number 8, the Vikings will go out to SoFi to take on the Rams. I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one.
Okay. Don't blame you. I think I'm doing the same, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think the Rams are as good of a team. We'll get into where I have them right now. Let's go to the power rankings. Rich at number 1. Who do you got? I mean, if I have to, I really shouldn't have to ask. Everybody has the same team at number 1 right now, don't they?
I would certainly hope so. But last week that wasn't the case for you, Mike.
No.
But I went with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I did too. And so did the ELO, by the way.
Okay. Number 2, I put the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I said I didn't think they would move in their bye week, and then it's not that they moved only because honestly, I probably had them too. I think I put them at number 1 just for your reaction, and your reaction wasn't as big as I thought it would be. So, whatever.
They're 5-0. They're outperforming their season projections. So you expected the Chiefs to be 5-0. Did you expect the Vikings to be 5-0?
Nope.
No. All right, number 3, Mike, I put the Detroit Lions, and I was almost with how badly they beat the Cowboys. I was really tempted to put them up to 2.
You and I are on the same wavelength right there. The way that they played that game, there's 2 choices here. Actually, there's 3. Detroit is that good. Dallas is that bad. Or both are true at the same time.
I think it's both are true at the same time. That was terrible. How many times were they trying to get an offensive lineman to get a touchdown?
Yeah,
and it just wasn't when they were in the red zone. They were putting linemen in as tight ends or fullbacks and getting.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me.
Plays for them to get them a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't. Mike McCarthy on the hot seat. It's a contract year, technically.
I think he is. He's not gonna lose his job mid-season.
Nope. Jerry's not gonna pay 2 people to do this to coach a losing team.
And I don't. And with Dan Quinn up in Washington, I don't think he has a replacement in-house that he could name interim coach. Mike Zimmer, but that defense has taken a step back with Mike Zimmer being the defensive coordinator instead of Dan Quinn.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So number 4, I have the Houston Texans.
I put the Baltimore Ravens here.
You love the Baltimore Ravens, man. You
This
really
year I
do.
do.
Every year. I think they're a little high. I think you got them a little high. You know how high? 1 spot, because I have them at 5.
Yeah. And I have the Texans at number 5.
Okay. Baltimore, I feel bad about it, but I don't know that I really like, and a lot of my problems go with Lamar Jackson. I don't trust that he's going to stay healthy. If he does stay healthy, he plays well, I don't think he deserves as much hype as I think he gets. I have yet to see him prove that he is. I think he's an MVP because he's lacking on that team elsewhere, but I don't think he's that great. So, but I still have him at number 5. At number 6, Rich, with the Buffalo Bills.
I put the Bills here as well. They had a good game they pulled off. They had a close game against the New York Jets. They still won the game, and that's what matters. So I'm at number 6. Number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. I have them at 8, but my number 7 team is the Washington football team. Commanders. Whatever they are.
Commanders a little bit lower.
So, like I said, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8. Who do you have at 8, Rich?
Number 8 is the Green Bay Packers for me. I'm probably got them too much higher because by all means.
Come on, Rich. Come on.
I know I don't have much to stand on with this one because I can't say that. Well, the reason why I have the Bears at number 14 and you have them higher than me is they've beaten lower tier teams. But the Packers have done the exact same.
They have.
The
Packers season hasn't been that great.
The Redskins, the Commanders have beaten lower tier teams, and that's why they're not up. That's why I don't have them as high as you. So when I put everything in, I had the Packers at 8. And I'm gonna keep them there.
We say that it's an eye test. It's really a gut check, right? What's your gut tell you? You say 8. I honestly, I don't think that's really that far off. I judge them slightly harsher, and I especially am judging them harsher this year based on the expectations that they're the Packers, so they're gonna have the greatest quarterback in the NFC North. Don't think that's the case right now, and I think that's part of that adds another one to why I don't have them as high. But man, I don't think the Packers deserve to be that high.
Okay, and that's fair. And maybe when they start getting divisional games. More when they get those 2 games against the Bears and the Vikings, they get a second game.
That's gonna be fun.
The Lions. Maybe that's when they start going down in the rankings.
Here's the thing, and if you look at the Bears season, and we have it right here, so let me grab it. I had it right here, and then I put it away. But let me grab. It takes me 2 seconds to grab it real quick. Okay, so. Week 11 is the first time the Packers and Bears play. I truly think we could see that week, going into that week, you and I both having all 4 of the NFC North teams in the top 5 or in the top 10.
Yeah, in the top 10, I can see that happening.
We're looking.
If the Bears continue to play well and win games,
and especially if the Bears win this upcoming week or next week, if they win next week, it's a huge. That's a momentum changer for the season. If they win next week, which, I think it's gonna be tough. I have it as a loss. I probably still think it's a loss, but. The Cardinals and the Patriots are the next 2 teams. 3 losses going into Week 11. There's a good possibility that's a top 10 team. All 4 of the North teams could be in the top 10. And then Bears, Packers, Bears, Vikings, Bears, Bears, Lions, Bears, Niners, Bears, Vikings, Bears, Lions. Finally, by the way, all of those games are going to be tough games. All of them. Then they get a reprise when they play the Seahawks. By the way, not that easy of a game this year. They're looking okay-ish. And then we come back with the Packers. The last, from 11 to 18, I would argue right now looking from here, is the toughest schedule of anybody in the league.
I can agree with that assessment. When the Seahawks are your
easy game,
is your easy game, that's a rough patch of games to where that could take you from being number 2 in your division all the way down to the bottom in your division.
Yeah.
Or going from last place in the division to number 1 in the division.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing a division opponent, more than likely the Packers and the Lions are going to be playing a divisional game, and the Vikings are going to be playing in a division.
It is so stacked. It's not going to be. That's where the division goes from having 4 people in the top 10, 4 teams in the top 10, to
2,
maybe.
But we'll see. So. Probably another team that you think I have ranked too high. I have the San Francisco 49ers at number 9. I put them up to 9 because I think they're getting back on track with a victory over the Seahawks. However, their injury woes keep on stacking up as they've lost now their backup running back Jordan Mason to an injury. So it's either going to be next man up as a running back, and you get to see, does the Kyle Shanahan offense, are they plug and play with their running backs, or are they going to have to depend more on the passing game with Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I really like this, by the way. I actually like that. I like that spot. I could not put them there.
Okay, that's fair.
At number 9, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. You know I hate the Steelers, so
Yep.
It's hard for me to give praise on the Steelers. So I have them at number 12. They're outside of my top 10. Just for the same reasons that I have the Packers ranked higher. But well, a win's a win. That's their wins are against bad teams, but a win's a win. I hold that as a negative against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So at number 10, I have the Chicago Bears.
All right.
That decisive of a victory, like, rarely in the NFL do you have that decisive of a victory. By the way, London game. Do you know what the line was at the time of kickoff?
No, I did not. No, I do not.
The Bears -1. Bears -1. They ended the game 14 points. 18 points. Sorry, 18. Was it 18? 19 points. Sorry, 19 points ahead. 19 points. That's huge. 19-point victories are not common in the NFL. That decisive of a win, looking as good as they did. By the way, 5 touchdowns in one game, huge. You're seeing right now. We are seeing why they drafted Caleb Williams. If he continues to play this way, I think Matt Eberflus gets to keep his job at least one more year. I'm sold on the team. I'm not sold on the coaching. I'm not, but I am sold on the team.
All right, so I put the Bears down at 14. So I think they're going to They're going to continue to work their way up my rankings.
And that's fair.
I just have them being. The teams that I have above them are Philadelphia. With on paper, that team should be better than 3-2. and Pittsburgh, who got off to a hot start.
Okay.
Got off to a hot start, but has been working their way down in the rankings.
But here's the problem that I have.
The Falcons.
Here's the problem that I have with on paper they should be better. They haven't been. They haven't been. So, at 11 I have the Falcons. By the way, just wait.
I put the Falcons,
and you.
I rounded out my top 10 with the Commanders.
Okay, we have the Falcon. We both have the Falcons at 11. Let me give you real quick. I have the Packers at 13. So not huge difference between you and I. And then I have the Niners at 14.
Okay.
So, just to give people some peace of mind.
Bottom 5.
You want to start at the bottom, or you want to start at the top of the bottom 5?
Well, let's start at the top of the bottom 5. So
okay.
Team number 28, I put the New England Patriots here.
Okay, this is where I have the Miami Dolphins.
Okay. I have the Dolphins at number 27 for comparison.
There is no way. By the way, I'm gonna put this down out here right now. If Tua steps back on the field for them, they still don't go up. I don't care if he wins the rest of the season. If he comes out this week and they clear him from blah blah blah, all that happens and he wins the rest of the season, I still have I will never put them higher than 28. Because at any minute now, he's going to get another concussion, and we're going to watch another man die on a football field. And I'm not okay with that. Okay, 29, Rich. I have the Cleveland Browns.
I put the Tennessee Titans here at number 29. I got the Browns a little bit lower.
Okay. At 30, I have the Carolina Panthers.
All right. I put the Jacksonville Jaguars here.
Okay. I can see that. 31, this is where I put the New England Patriots.
31 is where I have the Cleveland Browns. I know for me, at least, they have the same record as the Titans, the Jaguars, and the Patriots, but that offense just is not moving the football at all. You got a quarterback that's got the lowest Q. I think they were saying here's something interesting I found, Mike. Do you know that the only Browns that have 2 touchdowns on the stat sheet isn't even an offensive player? It's a safety, Mike.
Oh, wow.
Safety. Now that Amari Cooper is gone.
Man. Okay, I didn't know that. That actually.
It is 3 years with the Browns. He has settled more civil lawsuits than thrown touchdown passes.
Yeah. I hate that.
21 lawsuits versus 16 touchdown passes.
I hate that man and that team, by the way.
So anyway, that's why you have to put it on. That offense just is not putting up any points, and if you can't score points, and your defense that was just dominant and helping you win games isn't necessarily doing their part, but can't do everything. You're saying that's why they're ranked so low.
What number was that again?
What
number did you have that at?
31 for the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, 32. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, by the way.
32. I went with the Panthers.
Okay, and again, I don't think any of those. The order I don't think really matters on those bottom 5. I think all of them are garbage teams.
I think New England is trending up, but
we'll see this week.
Jacksonville, Cleveland.
This week, New England could get out of the bottom 5 this week.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I could see Miami going into my bottom 5 if they still can't put up any points.
But that's because I think
still having problems moving the football.
I think Tennessee could go down too. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah. By the way, real quick, we got to do. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna give mine, but I want you to think about What's your team that you are shocked that they are this low, this late in the season, if you will? And mine is the LA Rams. On paper, they should be a great team. I have them at 26, by the way.
I put them at 25.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if I'm just. I think injuries have had a lot to do with it, but Dallas being all the way down at number 19.
Yeah, I can go with that. I have Dallas at 16, a little higher, but yeah, no, I can agree. Dallas, man, all of it.
And I think that they're trending downward with an offensive with no running game to take the pressure off of Dak Prescott and missing defensive stars. No pass rush. I think they're going to continue to go down in my rankings.
Yeah.
And who thought the Bengals would be at 2-4 this late in the year?
Yeah, but a team that I think is trending up. So, so let's move on. We still got to talk MLB. Championship Series is underway. The Dodgers lead the Mets 3-2. Game 6 will be Sunday in LA. I expect that that's going to be closed out by then. The Yankees versus the Guardians. Yankees are leading the series 2-1.
3-1.
Oh, you have 2 games here.
Because we shifted the MLB toward the back half of the show, tonight's Game 4 went final. The Yankees won 8-6. So they are 1 win away from going back to the Fall Classic.
Okay.
Game number 5 will be Sunday in Cleveland.
Okay.
So by the time we go back on air, Mike, we should have a World Series matchup.
Yeah.
So we might have to post a poll if the World Series, because I think the World Series may start before we go on air.
Okay.
Before we record, so we might have to might have to do a midweek call to determine who we're going to pick. But as neither of my teams are going to make the World Series, I think I might have to defer to you to make that choice.
Okay.
Since your prediction was probably going to come into play more.
Okay. Quick note: hurricane happened last week. We didn't really talk much about it, but the Trop's roof was at least destroyed pretty nastily in Tampa Bay. There is some question on whether or not the Rays are going to be able to get back in there at the beginning of the season, at least. But I mean, it's Tampa Bay, so the weather shouldn't be too bad. They should be able to just jump right on and get those repairs done. But there is some question on whether they will be able to get it all done.
Yeah, or want to get it done, because they're moving into a new stadium in 3 years. So do you really want to put that type of money into repairing the roof?
That's a good point. We'll talk about where they might end up next week if you want to, depending on if we need filler. But we're at 53 minutes into the show, so.
Mike, is it something that you typed up mid-game, mid-show? I'd have to say I'll believe it when I see it, but reports have surfaced that Jerry Reinsdorf is willing to sell the White Sox. Not that he's going to sell the White Sox, but he's willing to listen.
Yeah, I don't know. I had deleted it because I figured we were far enough along that we didn't need a filler thing. But, yeah, I'd like to see that happen. Maybe, I don't know. But it's whatever.
All right.
Okay. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. After I talk about esports, we will talk about The Masked Singer. We are going to give spoilers. We've both seen it this week. So just be ready. Be ready, okay? With that being said, esports this week. We won our match pretty handily. It went pretty well. This upcoming week on Tuesday, we are having an in-person event. This is one of the biggest in-person events we are going to have. This is really becoming a make or break game for us. If we win, we likely move up to second in our division, and probably get a bye directly into the state championships or finals in Marshalltown. If we lose, we probably have to play a play-in game. I think we still win the play-in game, but we'll probably have to play the play-in game and have an extra week of gameplay. But I mean, we're still 2 weeks out from the end of the season. So that being said, with that, also next week, just a quick show note. It will not. If it's a Friday show, it's going to be a late night Friday show, as I will be at the field out at Okoboji Stadium, because we are going to host a playoff game next week. So
yeah, I think we can make a Saturday show work. So we'll find a way to make it work. So Mike,
Yep.
That was your final spoiler alert. So
Yep.
Mike, if they are a fan of The Masked Singer and haven't had a chance to listen to the show, watch the show, feel free to pause us or tune away at this time. Mike, if they're listening to us in podcast land, where can they find the live feed of the video if they have wanted to watch the live feed and comment along and join in the show?
yeah, youtube.com/ballsandsticks. Let's see. I meant to get that up to. I normally try to watch just so that I can see what's going on and see if there's anything. I haven't had it up the whole time, so hopefully we haven't had any.
And then Mike, if they're watching us here on YouTube, either live or the recorded version, and they want to take us more in just an audio form and maybe take us on the road a little bit easier, where can they find our show?
Anywhere where you find your major podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever Google's calling them anymore, and all the places. So check us out there. Okay, Rich, with that, let's get into The Masked Singer, as we had...
It was a new group.
It was a new group.
Number B. So, Mike, what was your favorite costume of the night, since it was a new group of people?
Honestly, I really liked the Dust Bunny.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite.
All right.
I like the costume, and we'll get into why in a minute. Not just who it was, but why I liked the costume, and more about the costume.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I know who somebody is.
Okay. I think for me, I liked the chess piece.
Okay.
Was my favorite costume. Who was your favorite performer of the night?
I think Goo.
I would agree. I really liked how well the Goo did.
So while watching the show, I told my wife, Dust Bunny did. So Dust Bunny was eliminated. I'll say that right now. Dust Bunny did Sweet Caroline. The hard, and I literally said it while we're watching it. This is a hard one to judge a voice on, because it's such a party song that it turns into that karaoke party song, and you don't get as much of the voice. I didn't think the voice was bad, but there was enough times that during the song, you were hearing Ken and the judges singing as much as you were hearing the performer.
Yeah, and you had the performer sneaking in what the crowds should chants back during that song too.
Yeah, which is not part of the song.
No.
I mean, it's part of the canon of the song now, but it is not actually part of the song. So, chess piece, I'll put it out there. A lot of people, I'm gonna make a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of chess piece was it?
It was a queen.
RuPaul.
Yeah, that's where Amy and I are leaning to.
All of the clues, I think it's RuPaul. I'm glad that you guys agree with that. That's who I think it is. So
Okay.
I could be wrong, but that's who I think it is.
Okay. So we've already said that the Dust Bunny was the singer eliminated, and it was longtime sidekick of Conan O'Brien, Andy Richter.
Yeah. So some of the things that I really liked, first of all, the clue package gave a lot of really good clues about it.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, what's the new girl's name? I can't never think of it. I don't.
Rita.
Yeah, Rita.
Rita something.
Whatever her name is. She performed, or she was on the right track. She followed the clues well. She thought it was a late night host. Didn't know all of the things. But there's a race car on the Dust Bunny. There's popcorn on the Dust Bunny.
Mm-hmm. I did like how they incorporated clues on the costume.
Yeah.
On the costume as well.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, and this one is one that I saw and took it this way. I don't know if they meant it this way. The paperclip. I'm a tech nerd, so this is me stretching it out. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. But the paperclip, everybody remembers Clip. This is my Ken Jeong moment.
Mm-hmm. Clippy.
But everybody remembers Clippy. What was Clippy? Clippy was an assistant. Well, he wasn't quite an assistant, but he was kind of the assistant of Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Oh, I did not put that one together, but I like it though.
I loved his clue package. I thought truly did give vibes of, I thought late night host. I legitimately thought late night host or someone in the late night world, and I totally bought into that. I didn't have a real guess on it, but I knew that it was somebody in the late night world. And by the way, Talladega Nights, they both got it. Two people got Talladega Nights. All of his clues led you to the right things.
You just, like you said, you were going to at the top of the call sheet. I was more in the middle.
Well, not only that, but if you have to go to each one of those and you have to say, okay, all of these things are there. And the problem is a lot of the clues are kind of stumbler clues. They're clues that don't really give clues, or some of the things that are in there don't give actual clues to who it is, or the clues are so far off. All of these clues gave great clue to who it was. You just had to think, so who's a late night host who was in Talladega Nights? That's all farther that you had to get. You were fed all of the information very well. Honestly, the clue packages should be more like what Andy Richter's were. I think it's much better show. Because, yeah, you might have people figure it out after a week or two, but if the show provides everything that was in that clue package, really does take you to a point where you get to Andy Richter, and I love that.
Well, the thing is, even with going all the way back to season 1 and Peacock,
yeah,
with the Peacock, you knew like by week number 3, I think it was.
Yep.
That it was Donny Osmond.
You did.
It was just he performed so well, and the show was in its infancy and didn't have an all-star cast that he wrote great performances all the way to the end, where he probably should have won the show, but it went to T-Pain instead.
T-Pain did great though. See, I think T-Pain deserved that one.
On the final night.
Yeah.
Not on the final night.
Yeah. Anyway, so with all of that being said, Rich, I do believe that is a show. So
I believe so, because I don't have any shout outs this week in mid October.
I don't remember. I don't think I do. So Rich, what's it time to do?
Mike, let's go ahead and roll that outro and get the fed.
Broadcasting live from somewhere somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.